Special Friday.
It is a special Friday. Welcome to New Leaf News presents the Legends Clubhouse. I am Bobby Kaboose, as always, with my boy Lawson Turner. It's a special Friday the 13th episode. Woo!
Ooh,
Dude, I'm
spooky.
I'm kind of spooked out, man.
Bring out the black
Why you
cats and what?
why you wearing red?
W- w- Listen, every day when we start the show, I never question what the fuck you got on. Why are you
Yeah,
jumping on
but
my spiel on a Friday?
'cause you never wore red before.
Who cares?
I'm just saying, man. And
I'm
it
wearing,
looks like
I, I'm
the
wearing a Liverpool
I can't
shirt.
tell what you're wearing because I can only see like your shoulder, from
Yeah,
your tit. And
I'm
it
wearing a
looks like you're
Liverpool
wearing a
shirt.
onesie. Oh,
It's
it
a
looks like a onesie
yeah.
from here. It looks like a Christmas onesie, like you're gonna go to a Santa pub crawl.
What the fuck is a Santa pub crawl?
You don't know what a Santa pub crawl is,
Sorry, I'm not from the fucking 20s.
dude? What? Wait, what?
Continue.
It's when you dress up as Santa and you go to different bars and shit,
Dickheads do that.
and
They just
everyone's
dress
dressed
up.
up as Santas and shit.
They just dress up as Santa and just go bar hop.
Yeah, around the holidays, Santa pub crawl.
That's so funny.
But hey, you gotta remember when you put that suit on, there comes responsibility to the
Oh,
kids.
I was gonna say, coming from someone who was once the rat at Chuck E. Cheese. he,
Hey, I just saw I just so yesterday I'm fucking scrolling Indeed and there was not only a job for Chuck E. Cheese
yeah.
for a game what was it, a game room attendant, but they named it like a cast member. Yeah, they call it like a cast member. And
Mm.
then I saw a job for to be a leprechaun mascot, and I was thinking about applying, but they only make $30 a day, and
I
I'm like,
mean,
eh,
they just put you in a heavy ass suit and dance around, bro.
you're right. It
When
was for like some sports shit, and I have no idea because the city that it's in,
yeah.
I wasn't aware that had any kind of sports in it. So
hmm That shit was so fucking funny when you got jumped as the mouse at Chuck E. Cheese.
it was not funny. My life flashed before my eyes, and then I had to Brock Lesnar a bunch of people and fucking take them to Suplex City.
Yo,
Like
if the
it
internet
was
was
not.
how we brought up multiple times, if the internet was around how it is today, how it was back
Oh yeah,
then, bro would
dude.
have made the news just power bombing kids in the ball pit.
Hell yeah, man. I would have went viral, and then I wouldn't have had to work because my video would have made billions.
Ooh, not just millions,
And then
billions.
I would have just continued to do that. I would have like that would have been my shtick. I would have been like, all right, well, my video of me being Chuck A. Cheese, suplexing kids, like did very well. Let me get some other mascot suits, go around to like elementary schools and parks and shit, and just beat the shit out of kids.
Yo,
You know?
have you ever seen those clips of like there's certain it'll be I don't know if it's an annual event or just some stuff they do at halftime. Sometimes at like NFL games they'll have like the NFL costume game against like the like flag football
Yeah.
kids that are like partner with the
They're not
NFL.
costumes, they're mascots.
All right, the fucking mascots are
You're
based,
wearing a costume right now.
huh?
You're wearing a costume right now.
It's Friday the 13th. Why aren't you wearing a costume?
Because, man, I'm trying to unjinx the unjinxable.
That makes sense. Anyways, where the Colts mascot is just the goat because he'll have the
Yes.
ball or won't even have the ball and just start mushing kids. That shit is
Dude,
so
stiff
damn
arm the
funny,
shit out of him.
dude.
Dude,
For
we
real.
like um my girlfriend and I keep talking about getting those bubbles, like
Yeah.
where you play soccer or whatever, and
hmm
then I was like, all right, we're gonna run full speed, and I'm just gonna fucking launch you into a tree.
I remember when I was in I remember when I was in high school, some like club or some club that like there was no affiliate to the school, but it was like a fundraiser thing. They came in and were like, "Hey, we're hosting this inflatable bubble soccer game," and
Yeah,
fucking it was like in the middle of lunch, so everyone's seeing where everybody comes in. There's just a big goober in like a fucking giant hamster bubble. And everyone was like, "Oh fuck yeah, dude, we need to get a bunch of those just run all at each other."
Exactly, dude. Like you just like start at one side of the soccer field and just run to the middle and just nail them, and then they go flying into a tree or something.
That
Um,
shit looks so
but
funny.
you mentioned right before we went on, if I saw the Oilers tie up the series.
Hmm.
Sounds like it was a pretty crazy game there. What the Oilers were down? You said they were down 3-0 in the second,
Hmm.
come back to take the lead. The Panthers tied it up? You said with how much?
19, about
19
19
seconds
seconds
left?
left. Yeah,
And then
it
my boy
was.
McDavid and the Oilers come through in the overtime.
Hmm. Uh,
All right, here's
Drysaitel
tied, baby.
Drysaitel will go on to score the game-winning goal in overtime, his 11th of the playoffs. It was so funny because when I was watching it, Matthew Tkachuk scored like 2 goals in the first 8-9 minutes, and I'm like, oh shit,
Crazy.
okay, this is where they flex, in Florida, and then lo and behold, they go up 3-0, and then in the second period, it just kind of it spirals out of control.
Well, what I told you before, man, the only thing better than a wet cycle is a dry cycle. And the Oilers are going to win the Stanley Cup this year, man. You're going to owe me $20, and I'm going to take that $20 and I'm going to be like, and fucking put it down and buy me a shot. And I'm going to be like, Lawson, this is to you and your $20. I appreciate it, man.
That's funny. It's interesting too because like where football is such like a it's such a small length of time. Like you don't really think about it because there's only 17 games plus the playoffs, and
Yeah.
like in hockey and NBA there's 82 games. In baseball there's what 162 games.
Yep.
So like those are so much longer seasons, and it's even more funny that the NBA finals are going around the same time as the Stanley Cup finals.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep. And so you did mention of course it's Friday the 13th. It's spooky Friday the 13th. So there's a bunch of like superstitions and shit. Are you superstitious at all? Are you like I
Absolutely
can't
not. No.
so you're walking outside, walking on
Stepping on
cracks, break
cracks. Yeah, walking under
so
ladders.
can your mom walk?
Yeah.
Okay, my mom can't. But um
It's fucked up.
yeah. I must have stepped out a couple too many cracks. But
Hmm.
I know you like white cats. Do you like black cats?
Oh, dude, all cats are awesome. But yeah, like I don't understand where all this like superstitions shit came out. Like breaking mirrors, walking under ladders, spilling salt, all that shit. It's just
Spilling.
like
Well, yeah. You gotta throw salt over your shoulder, and then you're supposed to hit sea bass in the back of the head.
it's just like me tipping over this salt shaker is not going to change my fortunes of the entire day. I refuse to believe.
Yes, it can, man.
I
Yes, it
refuse.
can. So then you gotta burn some incense and like have it around, or you gotta pick your lucky numbers out of a lucky fortune cookie or something, dude. Don't break a fucking mirror. I broke a mirror when I was like 18. I definitely had 7 years bad luck.
Bro,
You know.
it's so funny because just recently me and my mom went to a Chinese restaurant and the fortune cookies come out, and everybody. It's the most one of the most popular dad jokes ever. You're reading a fortune cookie. Help! I'm being held hostage in a Chinese cookie factory. She's like, "Oh, are you for real? Did it really say that?" And I'm like, "Ma, no, it didn't." However, I
You
fuck
might want to step up crack after that moment.
I love stupid dad jokes like that. Them shits are so funny.
Well, see, I remember, I believe it was WrestleMania 10 where Razor Ramon walked underneath the ladder in a ladder match, and I'm like, no, Razor, what are you doing? What are you doing? You don't step underneath our ladder. And he ended up winning the Intercontinental title. So, maybe he had a lucky fortune cookie in his trunks.
Mm,
Who knows?
in his trunks, that'd be funny. No, but I
Like
don't know. It's
in baseball, pitchers aren't supposed to step on the lines. There's
mm,
bunch of superstitions out there, man, that we should all be taken care of because we don't want this bad aura around us, especially on Friday the 13th. I mean, it's Friday is supposed to be the unluckiest day of the week,
Mm.
on top of the unluckiest number, because most religions believe in like a 12-month calendar type thing, and then 12's a nice number. That's why 13 is the unluckiest number, is because it's the one after.
Hmm.
A
Interesting.
little bit of,
I didn't know that.
yeah. Yeah, because like there's 12 months with the zodiac stuff, there's 12 and all that shit. So like 12 is like the sacred number, and then 13's
Hmm.
the unlucky one after. But so when you
Interesting.
combine the two, you either get, you know, a very fucked up day, or once in a while it's your sister's birthday on a Friday the 13th, and she might be the most unluckiest person in the world today. I'm not sure. Or maybe because it's her birthday, it flips everything and she wins the lotto. I don't
That'd be interesting.
know.
Do you have any like favorite horror movies or anything like that for Friday the 13th or
I don't. I've actually never seen like a Friday the 13th all the
me?
way through.
I haven't
Like the
even
Jason Voorhees.
started any of them yet.
But like I like the Halloween movies. I've always been a fan of them. And then like last year we went to Kentucky to visit my aunt, and we
Mm.
watched all the Nightmare on Elm Streets, and those are like just like comical. So
Yeah.
they're so fucking ridiculous that or at least they start off that way, and
Yeah.
like none of them, like there's one that like doesn't even like match up with the series and shit.
Uh-huh.
It's ridiculous. But
It's so funny because like one of my really good friends, he's super big into horror movies, a lot of cult classics and stuff like that. And when he's like, "Oh, have you seen this?" I'm like, "No, like I haven't seen any of the Nightmare on Elm Streets, Halloween's, Friday the 13th. I just, that just wasn't my. I just had almost no interest in, watching it. So, I mean, for horror movies, I mean, you can't go wrong with like the Conjuring movies.
yeah, I've never seen the Conjuring movies, man. I'm not about to look at like some fucking doll coming to life. Like I just I don't know if I sent you. Did I send you that shit on Instagram yesterday, or did I send it to other people? I know I sent it to my girlfriend, but like it was like like a haunted doll
Yeah,
museum. Like one doll is like sitting there, and you're like just waiting, and like it just fucking like barely moves its head, and you're like, oh my god,
yeah.
fucking creepy, man.
Yeah, I remember seeing, and we might have touched on it a couple weeks ago when it was like happening, like the original Annabelle doll got like lost in transit or something,
Yeah, dude.
and I'm like,
She just kept killing.
yeah, okay, a doll just got lost in transit,
Dude,
yeah, okay,
how do you? Yeah, man. How do you not believe that? It probably just walked away. Like, dude, it's fucking evil.
it probably just walked away.
I mean, dude, have you've never seen Child's Play, dude? This shit happens, man. Evil spirits take dolls over all the time. That's why Alex doesn't allow us to have dolls in the house, and there's a few of them across the hallway in a different room.
Fuck is this
And we
Toy
just keep
Story?
the door shut. We keep the door shut so they can't fucking jump up and fucking open the door, you
What the
know?
fuck is this Toy Story?
Yeah, evil Toy Story. That's like did you did you see there should be like a toy, they said like in Toy Story 5 they should have they should have all the toys dead, and the kid not realizing that they're playing with dead toys.
I haven't seen. I know they made
Oh.
like th- I stopped watching after like the third one because once again I just kind of outgrew the Toy Story
Yeah.
franchise. So fucking like the first one was a banger, second one was a banger, third one was a banger that I thought okay they wrapped it up the series. Andy goes to college, gives all the toys to the girl and stuff like that. And then when I saw that they were making
Hmm.
a fourth one, I was like, oh, they're gonna ruin it. So I never watched it, and I
I
don't.
never watched the fourth one either. And I'm hoping Andy dropped out of college. Like I hope like, they're just like maybe he had like a drinking problem or something. He was going to too many parties, and he
I'm
like
just,
he gained like the freshman 15, and he's like, a little chubby now, and like maybe he's got a scruffy beard or something, and
that'd be
he
so
just
funny.
like he's like, "Ma, community college just wasn't for me. I want to play with my buzz." And like, so he comes back and he's like, just like a fucking loser. And
That would would be so
And
funny.
maybe he's like, always got like a half a pint of Jack or something in his hand, and he's like, "Ma, where's my Woody doll? I want to pull the string." And like,
Where's my
just like
Woody doll?
he's just like, yeah, dude, like, just teaching kids like, yeah, you could possibly turn into this if you don't continue with your studies.
Well, one part of the movie, he's drunk and he's just re-saying the shit. There's a snake in my.
Dude, like, or like he takes like acid or mushrooms or some shit, right? And he's just hallucinating, and they really do come to life in front of him, and he's like, "Ma, shit." He's like, "My toys are coming to life," and she's like, "What?" And he's like, "I don't know, I'm high as shit, but my toys are coming to life." And like he thinks he's imagining it because he's on drugs. It's actually happening.
Imagine if, like in your scenario, he got so fucked up that he's having like a full-on conversation with his toys, and
Right.
the toys think, oh, it's time to come out and be alive, so they're having him back.
Yeah, dude.
That'd be so damn funny.
And then you get like like maybe just like small soldiers. Maybe some of them got like a weird microchip in them, and they turn evil. And he's like, "Ma, some of my toys are trying to beat me up."
So,
I don't know why. I don't know why Andy has this voice now, but
some of my
he
toys are
smoked a
trying
lot
to.
he smoked a lot of cigarettes and drank in his first year at college.
Some of my
And now-
toys are trying to kill each other. Yo,
Now he's like a 40-year-old man, and he's like, "Ma." He's like, he'll pull like the meatloaf line from fucking Wedding Crash. He's like, "Ma, Buzz wants meatloaf. Go get him some meatloaf." And she's like, "Honey, like, you gotta stop talking as if Buzz was a real guy." He's like, "Shut up, Ma. He's my friend.
he is real. He was real to me.
Yeah, he's gotta save the galaxy, Ma. Don't you remember when Sid tried to blow him up and he rode the race car into the moving truck?"
We're not aiming.
We saw it in the mirror, Ma.
We're not aiming for the truck.
Yeah, we're aiming for Andy's lap.
That's so funny. That's so
yeah, dude,
fucking funny.
so-
I feel like another thing too, like they don't make kids movies like that no more. Like the original Toy Stories, or hell, even a movie like Small Soldiers. Great concept,
Yeah.
and it's a banger movie. Once again,
Yeah.
I remember having that. I remember having Small Soldiers on VHS growing up. That shit was so dope.
Dude, I saw that movie in the theater. It was fucking awesome.
Dude.
I was like, "No way, dude. Like, if you get this, like, I want to call the military and get a microchip and put it in my wrestling action figures." I mean, like, these grown people are getting like, attacked by. I'm like, dude, they're fucking like 6 inches tall. Like,
Start stomping.
take a fucking golf club to them. Like, what are you doing?
That's so funny.
The neighbor mom is like hitting fiery tennis balls back. I'm like, "Oh, these tennis lessons came in." I'm like, "Bitch, you probably would whiff on every single one of them."
They fucking shoot through the glass. The glass is open. She's hitting them bitches back.
There's a dark turn at the end. The husband is like, "What? I thought you were taking tennis lessons. What have you been doing?" She's like whiffing and shit. And like he finds out like she was just like cheating on him with the tennis coach or some shit, and they end up getting a divorce. And like then Kirsten Dunst is like crying, and yeah. I mean, all these turns that these movies could take.
Bro, it's so funny. You spotlight it, Kirsten Dunst, because fucking when I was, she does have a big head. When I'm not synonymous to actors' names, I'm synonymous with some of their roles. And when I rewatched Small Soldiers a couple years ago, because once again, it's fucking ain't nothing better to do than to go down the nostalgic driveway down memory lane. I was rewatching it and I was like, holy fuck, that's Mary Jane from
Oh my god.
And once again, I had this fucking. I remember having the first Spider-Man on fucking VHS, and I remember because I was thinking about it. I was like, "Yo, how come when as a kid it didn't fucking click that that's the same that's the same that's the same person?"
Yeah, like when I was a kid, like I was like, "Oh, that's the girl from Jumanji."
Right.
She's in the original Jumanji movie, and her brother turns into a monkey. Or no, does he turn into a monkey? Yeah, he turns into a monkey. I had to fact check that because she was laughing. Yeah, he turns into a monkey, and he's like, dude. So he turns into a monkey. He tries to cheat, right? And
Right.
again, just teaching people not to cheat because you might turn into a monkey. Well, fucking Robin Williams, or what's his name, Alan, has to fucking rip his pants so his tail can come out. That's not weird. Like, you know,
Yeah. I
why did
I gotta
he's like,
accommodate him.
like, dude, okay, like, I'm not trying to sound weird, but like, if it hurt that much, why didn't you just fucking take your pants down, bro? You're a monkey now. Like, it's not weird. Like, it's not like
It's weird
it's
if
not like
you're.
you're just
It's weird if you're Winnie the Pooh and is a human. It's completely okay if
yeah,
you're a
yeah,
monkey.
exactly, dude. You're not like a regular child or a regular person's not Pooh Baron, but when it's like a regular bear, yeah, it can fucking just wear like a t-shirt, like. You know,
So funny.
your dingling or your private parts are covered up by fur. You know, it's not weird.
That's so funny.
But yeah, he like instead of like, and then okay, so he rips the pants. Now his parents have to buy him new pants. Like come on, man. Some parents don't live in a mansion like they did. Like my parents, like if I would have ripped my pants like that, my mom would have been like, "Well, let me sew it back up. Now you're gonna
Dude,
have a big patch on your ass." And I'll be like, "Mom, I don't need pants. I'm a fucking monkey." I'm like, "Look, I got my banana right here, Ma."
I need to.
Oh,
There's no
I,
way we're just dropping. There's no way we're dropping bananas on the fucking
dude,
shit.
dropping bananas.
It's so funny. No, though, but like when it's so funny you brought up like having to rip a hole in the pants for bro's tail. My mom would always make jokes like if she was carrying too much shit in her arms, she would say, "I wish I had an extra arm, but I'd have to buy a new shirt."
See? What's up, dude?
Nah, though, that shit's too funny. Those are a lot of classic movies too, like the Jumanji movies.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of
Well,
the. I haven't seen any like the new ones with like The Rock or Jack Black.
see, I seen the first one, and it wasn't bad. I didn't mind. Like, I'll say it wasn't bad because I didn't mind the concept. Like, I think they did a good job of like, um, kind of modernizing it with a
Yeah.
video game, and instead of Jumanji coming out of the video game, they go into the video game,
Hmm.
and I thought that was kind of cool. I didn't see the second one, and I don't know if is there a third one, or are they making a third one or something? I
I
don't know.
think there's a second
But
one. I don't know if there's a third one.
yeah, so the first one wasn't bad. I never seen the second one though, but
Hmm.
nothing can beat the original one with Sarah Little and Alan, I forget his last name, Parrish. Alan
Yeah.
Parrish, and then the two little kids, I don't know the kids names. One started with a J, I think. Jane, Janet, Julie, Jennifer,
June.
Jordan, Julie, Julie. It wasn't Julie, was it? The little Kirsten Dunst character is Julie. Just say it. Yes, she said yes. I don't think it's Julie, but she says yes.
We're
But
just gonna go with it.
yeah, because like I just remember them going to the house and they're like, "Oh, you must know Sarah Whittle, the Sarah Whittle that used to live here." And she was like, "You were at a little boy's house playing a game, and he got sucked into that game. I'm that little boy, Sarah." And then he turns into the Undertaker and fucking drives her into a casket. But
Yeah,
anyway,
having a casket match in Jumanji would be so.
Anyway,
I,
but no, so Friday the 13th, crazy stuff going on today. He
yeah,
might turn into a monkey, who knows? But it's also Father's Day on Friday.
it is.
So we have or Sunday, Friday. Why did I say
Today
Friday?
is
It's on
Friday, you
Sunday.
fucking jackass.
Yeah. Dude, I'm not awake yet, all right? It's Friday the 13th. I'm terrified for my life. Luckily my mom's not around anymore, so I can step on as many cracks as I want. Um, you know, but everything else is fucking spooky to me now.
Right.
Like 6 black cats just passed me. I think I may have broken a mirror while I was brushing my teeth this morning, and every ladder that I see I am going to step underneath. But um Father's Day is Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
There are plenty of legendary fathers out there. Give me a legendary father and
LeBron.
why. Who?
LeBron.
Dude, he's like the worst father in the world. So next,
Legendary
when
fathers.
your kid sucks, you're a
First,
bad father. So bam, he's out.
legendary fathers. Oh, Peter Griffin.
Peter Griffin is a legendary father. So,
He
but
might not be
I
for
mean,
the right reasons. He's legendary.
right? Yeah. I mean, when you only take care of, well, I was gonna say he takes care of 2 of his 3 kids, but he really doesn't take care of any of them. I mean, he damn near killed Stewie when he had the fucking big slit in his fucking head, and he always farts in Meg's face,
Right.
and then, he basically just calls Chris a dumbass.
Right.
So I mean.
That shit's so
He
funny.
just hangs out with the dog and drinks with him all day. Like, I wish I could get my dog drunk and at the bar and just hang out with him, and maybe he'd start talking. I can't wait for the day my dog starts talking.
So go ahead.
Like, this is my first.
You give me a legendary
This fella,
father.
yeah, this is my first pet. Like, when you've had dogs before, like, when do they start talking? What age do they start talking?
I don't know. My first dog, I guess, ran away before he started talking. I got off the bus one day from school and the dog was gone. I was like, oh, alright. It just wasn't meant to be then.
They were like, Lawson left the gate open again.
Nah, bro. I was the fuck. I can't get off the bus at elementary school. I was like, hey, dog. Hey, bro. Where's my dog? Hey, I don't know. So guess what, dude? No mas.
You know who else is a legendary father? Is Scott Calvin. I think his name was Scott Calvin. Do you know who Scott Calvin is?
No, enlighten me.
He was Santa Claus in the Santa Claus, Tim Allen. He became Santa Claus, and again, he might not be legendary for the right reasons because he was never there for his child. I mean, he was there up north, chilling with all the elves, like hanging out, having a good time, delivering presents to all the other kids in the world. And he gives this, a kid a stupid snow globe, and he's like, hey, when I can't get to your birthday, just fucking shake it. I'll come by for 15 minutes. Kind of shitty, dude. Like, I'd rather have, I think instead of having my dad be Santa Claus, I think I'd rather have my dad come to one of my baseball games. Just saying Santa or Scott, if you like to say.
Or Scott. The
Yeah. You were nothing before you found that suit.
Or Adam Sandler's character from Big Daddy.
Yeah. Well, that goes back and forth, man. Was he a good was he good step-in father? I'm not going to call him a stepfather, but a temporary father. Was he good, or was he a terrible person because he manipulated the system? He put the kid's life in danger. He lied. We at the Legends Clubhouse do not like liars. If
No,
you
we
come
do
in
not.
here and lie, we're going to revoke your membership. So don't lie to us.
Right.
And he lied. He lied to that fat guy.
Oh,
That was the social services guy.
I'll never forget when they came to take the kid away. They're dragging away. I want my own ass. I want my own ass. Adam Sandler.
And he didn't even teach him that. He didn't teach him that. He knew how to wipe his ass. But and like, how are you gonna just put like newspapers down when your kid pisses himself and shit? Like, dude, like, you didn't even change him. He wet the bed. The bed is fucking soaked. he's in the same PJs and he just picks them up and just fucking tosses them back onto the fucking newspaper.
So
Like,
funny.
dude, get him some new fucking fresh clothes. Fucking wipe his genital region. It's gonna get infected or something. Like, he's gonna have a weird smell. I don't know. I don't know what happens when you just leave a kid in his own piss. I don't have a kid. So,
That's
you
so
know.
fucking funny. But yeah, dude, the whole Father's Day shtick is well, not shtick, the whole Father's Day, you know.
The whole thing is a fucking scam. Like, my dad sucks. Why do I have to celebrate him?
No, I had some pretty the whole thing fucking blows. No, I had some pretty cool moments over the years with my dad. I remember one of the best ones. I remember in 2016. I remember in 2016 on Father's Day was Game 7 of the NBA Finals, and we watched it, and it was so dope. That was when the Cavs made the 3-1 comeback, and you know, cause that was when, you know, I'm not, once again, not crazy knowledgeable about, you know, like sports stuff like that. So I'm like, hey, do you think they're gonna do it? What are you doing?
I just tossed a banana.
I was just about to say, did you just throw the banana, dude?
Yeah, I tried to make her spin out like Mario Kart.
Every time I see a banana, I think of the fucking. You might be a little too old for this. Do you remember the show Drake and Josh?
I know of the show. I know one of them got raped.
Yeah, that was Drake. Thanks. Just
Yeah.
immediately just to the worst part.
Literally, that's all I know about the fucking show. I watched that documentary, and
Yeah.
that's all I know about the show. So
the show's a banger. There was one episode where uh Drake and Josh accidentally like escaped with some convicts in a cop car, and they couldn't get them to leave their house, and so they tried to scare him away. So they snuck in Josh's like magic kit into the kitchen, and so then they act like they're fucking fighting, and you just see Drake grab a banana and just start smacking the fucking counter, and then all you hear is one of the robbers say, "Don't beat that boy with a banana." He picks Josh up. He's got fake blood all over his face, and all the fucking convicts just run out the house.
You know who is also a terrible father is Rey Mysterio. I mean, our boy Dominic is the Intercontinental Champion, and he had a deadbeat father.
I'm fucking crying.
Unreal.
Oh,
And
fuck,
you
that's
know,
too funny.
back in like 2008, his dad actually allowed him to have a ladder match against Eddie Guerrero for the custody of Dominic. Like, how are you gonna do that, dude? Like I would be fucking pissed if my dad was like, "Yeah, I'm fighting a neighbor, and the winner gets you." Like, thanks, Dad. Thanks for putting me up as a trophy.
It's so funny you brought up that match because I saw TikTok the other day, and apparently Vicky Guerrero messed up the spot when she came out because someone like they muted like I don't know how people do this. They edited it to where you couldn't hear like the crowd, you could just hear like the wrestlers talking. When Eddie fell off the ladder onto the fucking ropes, he was like screaming like, "Where the fuck is Vicky?" Because I guess she was supposed to come out earlier for her spot. But it was so funny.
Yeah, I can't believe how successful Dom is with a
That's
deadbeat
so
dad
funny.
like Ray. You know, it's just
He's
it's
so
facts,
over.
man. Coming straight from the horse's mouth, dude. Like, he knows exactly how his dad raised him and treated him and all that, and I have to believe that he was a deadbeat. You know,
Dominic Mysterio was so over.
Dominic Mysterio is awesome.
Bro.
He is awesome. I'm like, I'm tempted to shave my beard off and just have the mustache and have my hair going and have it wet all the time, and
Fuck it, dude.
me and Dom could be brothers from another mother's.
Speaking of WWE, like wrestlers and superstars and stuff, I saw yesterday. Tiffany Stratton was
I'm getting a look right now.
Huh?
I'm getting a really, really bad look right now.
Tiffany Stratton was at the Mets game and she threw out the first pitch.
Yeah, you sent me that, and then after I saw that, and
It was even
It
more
was
fun.
the first row.
It was even more funny because after, if you like click the video and listen, all you hear is her before, "It's Tiffy time," and they just fucking sailed the first pitch.
Yeah,
Dude,
it almost went into the first fucking row, dude.
celebrity first pitches are so damn funny
Oh,
because
I know.
either they're semi-solid or it's a fucking one-hop bouncer to the plate.
Dude, that's my goal. One of my goals in life is to be someone one day where
Throw out the first pitch.
throw out a first pitch.
That'd be so dope. Just the
And I don't
whole
know what I would do. Maybe I would just throw it into the bullpen, or like just or into the dugout, like just like, and just so my video goes viral.
You gotta show them your wind. You gotta do the Vita Blue wind.
Dude, I'm doing Hideo Nomo if I do it, man. He is a fucking crazy ass shit going on.
Do the Craig Kimbrell.
Yeah. Fucking, I'll crane kick too. I just watched Karate Kid.
Do a Scooble crane kick and then go into the eagle. That shit's so funny.
And just fucking like walk down like.
Dude, there's a lot of funky like wind.
Just like retarded. Just.
There's a lot of funky wind-ups in baseball.
There is, man. There is. But I'm trying to think of more famous fathers or great dads in history. Because it is, like I said, Father's Day on Sunday. We need to be celebrating these dads.
Yeah.
Out here. So, I know you never watched Married with Children. It was way before your time. So
yeah.
Al Bundy was a shoe salesman, and people thought he wasn't a good father. But in reality, he was a very good father because his daughter was somewhat of a whore. And
how do you be
somewhat? Well, no, it's like. Well, it's like that, back in the early '90s, you could joke about that. So, or like late '80s or '90s. So, like, she was like, she got around. Like, her brother would always make fun of her for it and shit. But, Al may have not have been the best father. But when he saw, some sleazy dude like trying to be all up on Kelly, he would beat his ass every time. He would fucking give him a couple punches, hit his head against the door, and throw him out the door. And he was a very protective and good father as when it comes to protecting his daughter, So people may not think he was a good dad, but, he's a great dad.
Another really good animated dad, well, he's kind of a dick, Stan from American Dad.
Yes. I mean, he's got to be somewhat decent for letting Roger live in the attic and, for having a weirdo son named Steve. And then his daughter's super rebellious. So sometimes you're just dealt a bad hand. Maybe that's probably why I don't want kids, because maybe I'm gonna be dealt a bad hand and I'm gonna have some weirdo,
some little badass little kid ready to rebel.
Yeah, and he's gonna be like 5, and I'm gonna be like, is it too late to just drop him off at a fire station? Like, Jesus, I'm gonna have to go pick him up from school, and I'm gonna come back with dinner. And the wife's gonna be like, "Hey, where's Ping Chu?" And I'm gonna be like,
"Ping Chu is insane."
Yeah, dude. So I'm like, I go, he's not with us anymore, and she'll be like, "What do you mean?" I'll be like, "Well, we dropped him off." She's like, "What do you mean we dropped him off?" I was like, "Well, I either dropped him off at a fire station, or I drove out to the country and been like, okay, you'll be fine."
That's one of the more interesting concepts that I could just never grasp my mind around, is that, if you don't want this child, drop in this box at a fire station, no questions asked.
That and a bunch of kittens. Like...
Oh, fuck.
Oh, God.
That's
but
so
yeah, man,
funny.
you just drive out to the country, you let them go, and you're like, you're free now. Enjoy your life.
Be free.
And then
dude.
Maybe give him like a little hatchet so he can maybe survive.
My nephew, whenever he comes in here and I'm like, all right, dude, I gotta, work on some stuff, and he's like, no, and I fucking pick him up and I just set him outside my door. I'm like, hey, dude, I release you into the wild. Be free. Yeah. Go be with your people.
Be free, man. That's what a good dad does. I got now. I got the banana peel. Mm,
Now we can
uh,
really use it like it's in Mario Kart.
no, someone thought it was funny to put it on my dog's back, our dog's back, and he's like, "What the hell is this?" Now he probably smells like banana.
That's so funny, dude.
Right.
Speaking of dogs, ever since my nephew realized, like when he was, itty bitty, that when he's in his high chair, if I throw food off this high chair, Roxy will come and eat it. And
Yeah.
I remember the day after he discovered that, because my sister's like, "Hey, can you watch him? I gotta go use the bathroom." So I go and I'm sitting and I watch him eat like this waffle, and I just see him grab it, throw a little piece off the side, and he just like laughing, and I'm like, and I look at him like, "Sean, did you just throw a piece of waffle on the ground?" And he dead ass locks eyes with me. His hand just goes, grabs another piece, and throws it off the side, all while locking eyes. I'm like, bro, we don't do that. And I have a video of this child for like 3 minutes straight, just picking up a piece, throwing it on the ground, Roxy eating it, and him just fucking thinking it is the most hilarious thing. And over the past couple months, bro gets bigger, and whenever he goes to sit at the high chair to eat, Roxy knows, oh, I'm finna get something, so she'll sit
Yeah.
right next to him. Bro, he will like eat whatever, then he'll stick his just hand off the side, and she'll just lick his hand clean.
Yeah, because his hand's probably full of ketchup or pudding or yogurt or
I,
whatever the hell he was eating.
I walk in there last night, bro's got his fucking shirt off, barbecue sauce on his head, and I'm like, yo, what kind of mess are you in here making?
Yeah, man, the dog knows. Roxy
Oh,
knows that.
dude, 100.
He's like, and then like I said, like after you get your hand licked, you don't even have to wash your hands after. Like you're just whatever.
Yeah, I mean, shit looks spotless to me.
Right.
That's
We're
funny.
good.
No, but we with it being Friday the 13th, you asked me this earlier. Are you superstitious or no? I don't give a shit.
Not really.
Yeah,
Um, Not really. My for a long time, like I used the number 13 for softball.
yeah.
My dad always wore 13. I mean, and then just I don't know, like yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
I guess if you believe it, you believe it because it's like the thing of like you kind of what's it called, like manifest it almost, like if
right.
you do believe it, like, oh shit, I stepped on a crack and now my mom's in the hospital. Fuck, like what did I do? Like, your mom had a heart attack. Oh, is her back okay? Well, yeah, but she's barely breathing. Okay, well, at least she didn't break her back.
At
You
least,
know,
at least this wasn't my fault.
yeah, at least it wasn't my fault. At least it was just, her shitty diet
Driving,
or something.
her shitty driving.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not the one that made her hit that tree. I just stepped on a fucking crack. Oh, she broke both of her legs? Well, that's not the rhyme. You know? It's not, I stepped on a peg, so I broke my mother's leg. It's no, I stepped on a goddamn crack, and her back is fine.
Her back is
You know?
fine. That's so funny. So with R-Truth coming back Monday and cutting his hair, do
Ron,
with Ron
get
Killings
it right.
coming back and cutting his hair,
Okay.
do you think he makes an
Now I know
appearance
who you're talking
tonight?
about.
Thanks.
Tonight, I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna be exclusive to Raw, but he's like people are like saying like should he win the title and stuff? Dude, you don't have to. Like he doesn't have to win the fucking title.
Like, take it
Like
off Cena?
yeah, he's not taking it off Cena.
That's my
Like yeah,
guess.
that's what people are saying online, like or like like different wrestling podcasts and shit. Like oh, do you give him the
Yeah.
belt? Like need to give him the belt. Um, I am curious on like how like because so you like can you really go from like a huge jobber and a entertaining gimmick to where you're kind of truth, don't get me wrong, truth is, or Ron Killings or whatever you want to call him, is super entertaining, and like whoever doesn't like the dude like is a fool, but like he does play like a buffoon on TV, right? Like
Yeah.
he's the punchline on a lot of jokes and stuff, and he's hilarious and shit. Like so, going to a serious like himself gimmick, like okay, like how far up the card are you gonna push him? I mean, I know he main evented against Cena on Saturday Night Main Event, or fought for the title at least,
Mm-hmm.
but like, you know, are you really gonna put him in the main event picture like for a while? Like what it's gonna be interesting on what they do
Mm-hmm. With him
with him.
now.
Because like I said, like, I thought it would have been cool if he would have came back and helped Cena,
Yeah.
and he could have still been like kind of like goofy but like a heel, like just
Mm-hmm.
being like, you know, or he could have been Ron Killings and he'd be like, you know, I'm just Cena's right hand man now,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and uh then he could help him, and you know he wouldn't really have to do too much
Yeah.
to like be I mean he's over, but like over as a win-loss over, you
Mm-hmm.
know, if that
Do
makes sense.
what were your thoughts on Jay dropping the title?
I was okay with it. I mean, it's just like like you know, he had his like WrestleMania moment, and I was thinking that Seth was gonna cash in
Yeah.
during that match, but I mean, it's just like Kofi. It's you know like Jinder. You know, they give the title to these guys that you know are a little bit of a surprise, and they don't have long runs, like 6 months at most. But like Jay, I mean, he'll probably get it back at some point, but it's fine. Like Gunther's
Yeah.
a good champion. I don't like what they're probably setting up as Gunther versus Goldberg because no one fucking cares about Bill Goldberg anymore.
Yeah, that shit's
It's not
fucking
1997. No one cares.
yeah.
Um, so I don't know. I think I just hope Goldberg doesn't win. It's supposed to be his retirement match, so like
I
hopefully he'll just
on
lose in 2 seconds.
I honestly would love if Gunther did like what William Regal did, you know, in the 90s to him, where he gives him a wrestling match
Yeah,
and just
yeah,
fucking beats his dick in the dirt with, you know,
yeah.
a wrestling match.
Right. Yeah, dude, I just don't like Goldberg ever since his Hall of Fame thing.
Yeah.
Where he was like, you know, this isn't the Hall of Fame that I wanted to be in. I wanted to be in the NFL Hall of Fame. Like, dude, you were a bust in whether you left from injury or whatever the fuck, or you just weren't good enough in the NFL. No one knew who you were. Like, no one.
Right.
Like, you weren't a fucking superstar. You were just some dude on the Atlanta Falcons. Like, get out of here. Like, wrestling made you. Wrestling made you known, you know, worldwide.
Mhm.
You would be nothing without wrestling. And for you to just be like shitting on it, like, oh, I didn't want to do this, and you know, I'd rather be in the other Hall of Fame. Like, go fuck yourself, dude. No wonder fucking 2/3 of the crowd left during your speech.
It's the at least acknowledge it and be grateful for, you know, opportunities. Now, once again,
Right.
did he get his, you know, big breaks at WWE? No, he was the WCW, you know, damn near GOAT, because he won what, like 198 some straight match or whatever there.
173, I think.
Whatever the
Which
fuck it was, you
was a
know.
super elevated number. Like there'd be nitros where like he pinned, like people would just run out, he'd spear him and pin him, and it wasn't even a match. Like you're
Yeah.
like, what? Like
Yeah, but it's the at least be acknowledge the fact that, oh, you know, I was mid to a bust in the NFL. Now it's I
right.
got another opportunity, and, you know, at least be, you know, joyous and grateful for it, you know.
Right. And you know, like even like Kevin Nash would be like, yeah, he's like, you know, we didn't even know what the number was every week. Like, you know, if you actually did the math, he's like, you know, what, this dude's having 30 matches in a week, you know, or whatever. And like, he's like, you know, I'm glad I wasn't on that schedule.
Dude, for real.
Like, just unbelievable. But like, yeah, even when his people shit on how his streak ended, and I thought it was perfect. Like, yeah, because like Kevin Nash was the booker, so people were like, "Oh, Kevin Nash is." So Kevin Nash, he's fucking 7 feet tall or close to. He's a big dude. Like, you need like a big guy to fucking beat Goldberg. And they tased him. Like Scott Hall came out with a fucking paddle prop or a taser or whatever, and tased Goldberg. Like, people thought that was stupid. I'm like, okay, this dude, like, they built him as he's this fucking beast. He's not gonna lose. Like, why do people have a problem with someone having to cheat to beat him? Like,
How else are you
I
gonna
thought it
beat
was
him? You
perfect.
know
Right.
the
What sucked is what they did after, and they didn't know what to do with him after because he couldn't wrestle, and like the mystique was a little bit gone. But what are you gonna have the dude do go like undefeated for his whole fucking career? Like,
Yeah, that's the thing too. It's like when you bring in or have that level of you've built them up so much to be a destroyer, you can't have them be undefeated forever.
right.
That's why when like the Shield came in and they went on like what was it, like a 4 month tear of just being undefeated and
Hmm.
stuff like that and just beating the shit out of everybody. It's like, okay, at what point are they gonna lose? Who are they gonna lose to? Then where do you go from here?
Right.
Because
Right.
in Goldberg's case, you're this monster destroyer. Once you lose, there's no way for like he's riding the high. He gets knocked down with a loss. How do you build him back up? There's nothing to do other than put him with like a figurehead or somebody.
Right. And that's I actually was listening to a podcast the other day, and they'd mentioned the UFC is kind of down right now
Yeah,
as far as numbers. And they were talking about it because the UFC, it's hard to build stars because it's a legit fight. They
yeah,
put, say the top guy against the second top guy, and they could go 50-50. You're like, not many Conor McGregors come along
no.
where, and it takes a lot of time to build that Conor McGregor because you have to get the record underneath you.
Hmm.
So they were, and are you a UFC guy?
Yeah, not only do you have to have the record and stuff, not everyone's just built to be brash like that, to
Right.
where you're the guys that are super over, like your Alex Perez and stuff like that, they're just silent killers.
Right. And so what they were saying, and like I'd like your opinion on this, is that, they should have the number one guy or the top couple guys maybe fight, lower tier guys like maybe, 15 to 20 rank, so they know that they're going to win, have a couple of fights like that a year so they can build these people up as far as like, oh, this guy's undefeated, blah blah blah, like kind of more of like a Don King from like the 80s and 90s
Yeah.
technique, what you would do with Tyson and stuff. So what do you think about
The
that? Like, if because you don't have the star power once McGregor's gone.
the well, it's different between certain weight classes because there are some weight classes that it's just top all of the top 8 guys plus the champ have the ability to beat the shit out of everyone. The thing is, your fighting career, because it's not just okay straight into UFC. It's like to put it in like similar things. There's like your smaller promotions and stuff like that, like the WWE. How wrestling has like the indie scene. Exact same stuff
Hmm.
for like the MMA scene and stuff like that.
Right.
So like example, uh, Khabib ended 29-0. He had like 13, 14 fights prior to his UFC run, and he's another guy where he's not a big brash personality. He's very humble, big family guy, religion wise, and he just smashes people. And your point to where having like a number one, number two guy going up against like smaller uh fights, once you go on like a 3-4 maybe 5 win streak if you're lucky, or sometimes it's a 2 or 3, they'll start pairing you with people that are like if you are the ranked 8 guy, it might take you 3 fights to get to a title fight. So there's not
Right.
and if you're lucky, you'll fight maybe 3 times in a year, and even then it's
Right.
rare due
I was
to
about to
the
ask how
the
often do they fight?
your camps are so long. So like
Hmm.
example, um Marab just beat Sean O'Malley in their rematch 2 weeks ago. He probably won't fight again till November, December, if that,
Right.
because you need your fight camps, and your fight camps can go on for anywhere from like 3 to 4 months, depending upon how much time you ask. So there's a lot of build up too that goes into it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like I said, they made a good point because it takes like a lot longer to build a star in the
Hmm.
UFC. So like when you
It,
don't have, every, you'll have these like, peaks and valleys because you're building the star, then they, once they're established, then they're older, so you don't see them as much, or you
hmm
have to go back and watch their fights previously. So it's just a way different animal, and
right.
it's you can't really. you can't really build it on, what you think might be the next star, because if they lose, then
And another
you know,
thing too about the UFC, they can't build stars.
right.
They have
Okay,
excuse me,
you have to almost have them fight
already
lesser.
right, and it's the point to where you, it's the whoever your fighter is, it has to be part of their personality. They have to want it, and
Right.
they have to have the ability to draw. Like what made Connor so damn fun and entertaining is he was this big personality and he had the
Right.
KO power, and he had the sense to where he was entertaining to watch in and out of the octagon, to where
Hmm.
you have just some fighters that they're beasts in the octagon, but they're not gonna talk shit. They're not going
Right.
to say you fucking suck. I'm gonna kill you, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like example, in when Connor was in the build up with Jose Aldo, Jose Aldo, MMA legend and stuff like this. Connor told him in his own native tongue, you will die. Like, no one, no one's going into, you know, taking it to that level anymore. To where, to
Do
back to the
you
original point, UFC can't make a star.
Right. Do you think that there's less and less people in UFC that talk shit nowadays because of social media and shit? Do you
Um.
think, because like, okay, so like the reason I bring this up is because like
Mhm.
back in the day, like, like I'll go way back in the day, like Muhammad Ali and stuff, like when
Yeah.
he's talking shit, like not everything is on fucking camera. Not everything at the
Right.
time is gonna reach this. And like, so now if you're a star in the UFC or boxing or whatever, and you talk a bunch of shit and you don't back it up, then you're gonna become an instant meme.
Mhm.
And it's gonna be way more embarrassing than if you were just like, yeah, I'm gonna beat your ass and no one recorded it.
Yeah. I feel to answer your question, I feel like a lot of it is just not their personality. There are sometimes that it is, sometimes it's not. Like
Yeah.
example, there was one person where there it was one of the press conferences back when Connor and Ronda Rousey were fighting, and someone asked Connor who would give you the hardest fight of everybody, on like their big ass panel, and I think it was Jeremy Stevens said, this guy right here, me. I put people to sleep. He gets TKOs, I get knockouts, and Connor's immediate reaction was, "Who the fuck is that guy?"
Right.
Just a lot of people just don't have that level of shit talking, just immediate.
Yeah.
And some fighters, they think it's, some fighters think that, oh, this is just a job. I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna get my bag and dip. And then you have others like Derek Lewis, going on. He was interviewed on some podcast the other day. It might have been 2 weeks ago, and he said, after I start knocking people out, I'm just gonna put my finger in their ass. Like some people just, they're not built to say that wild shit.
Yeah, dude, I would, right when the bell would ring, I would just be like, I tap out. Give me my 20 million and I'll walk out.
Yeah, that's funny.
But yeah, man, so we covered a lot today.
Nerfies,
Sunday is Father's Day. You got any plans? I know your
nerf,
pops is
nerfies.
is yeah, but one sec. What are you doing Sunday?
This
Anything
fucking guy.
for your
I'll call him. I will
Okay,
call. I was
cool.
gonna say because
I'm glad we established that.
he
I'll
he
call him.
he he lives out of state, so I'll call him. I'll
I'll
see what
call
he's
him.
doing.
I'll call him. I'll just call him.
I call.
I'll call him. All right, so Nerfies, you gotta get the fucking Nerfies so fucking bad. All right, so what's your record right now? Like really, really bad.
I am 8-5, and you're seven.
All right,
You're 9-4.
I'm 9-4. Do you want to go first?
You can go first.
All right, my Nerfie of the day is it's at 8:10 Eastern time,
Okay.
June 13th, Friday the 13th. We have Friday Night Freddy, Eric Freddy, For the St. Louis Cardinals. He's got a 3-5 record. Again, we don't fucking care about records around here for pitchers. We care about ERA and strikeouts. He's at a 3.54 ERA with a 46 strikeouts on the season. He is going against another Friday Night Freddy, Freddie Peralta. We got a Freddie theme here. Freddie got fingered. 5.4 record, 2.69 ERA, and 78 strikeouts. We're going Cards and Brewers, 8 o'clock, 8:10 Eastern time start. I'm getting into double digits today. I'm going to be going 10-4. So, Brews Cards. That's the nerfy of the day. What do you got?
I will be going with the first game on the slate, the Pirates Cubs. Now I know the Cubs are one of the best offenses in baseball. However, Paul Skeens is like that. I saw a crazy stat the other day that he and Mitch Keller they've combined like 23 quality starts, and their record's like 2 and whatever, because it just because the Pirates offense just can't do it. The pitching battle, it is the Skeeter man, the power of the mustache. Well, he's now rocking a beard, so it's not full on mustache no more. Skeens has a 4-6 record with a 1.88 ERA, which is crazy when
Yeah.
your record is 4-6 and you have a sub-2 ERA. Going against Cade Horton of the Chicago Cubs, he has a 3-1 record with a 4.11 ERA. I expect Skeens to limit the damage against the Cubs, and the Pirates' offense fucking blows. So,
by the way, what happened Wednesday?
we both went over.
I know, but what happened?
I was wrong, and you were wrong too.
Yes, you were. Yes, you were. I told
Is it that?
people not to touch your fucking bet with a 10-foot fucking pole, and the Giants scored 2 runs. No, you don't take the Rockies in a nerfy, dude. What are you talking about?
Sometimes
There's certain, or no, was it the Dodgers?
it was the Rockies. The Dodgers was the one before.
Oh yeah. Stop picking the Dodgers. Stop picking the Yankees. Stop picking the Rockies. These 3 teams do not be involved in your nerfies. There's too much risk.
So,
I told you the Giants were going to score 3 runs, and they scored 2.
sometimes you just gotta believe, right?
No, man, you don't believe in those 3 teams in a nerfy. But anyway,
funny.
Check us out. We are live Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, 7:30 Eastern Time, AM. Check us out on newleafnews.network/.com. Both of them take you to the same great site. We have daily content. We have 7 phenomenal writers, and our team's growing by the day. Check us out on Insta and Facebook and X, all at New Leaf News. Obviously, hit your subscribe button. Join us on Wednesday or those 3 days. If you can't, we always put the show up on YouTube. So check us out at your convenience. Otherwise, get your cereal, get your banana. We got peels. We got peels all over the place. So get your cereal with no milk in it. Get your flimsy bacon. Get your pancakes or waffles, no syrup. Don't be a weirdo. That's how you're supposed to eat your breakfast. Get your nice glass of chocolate milk to go with it. Check out my other show, 64-Bit Legends, anywhere you can get podcasts. At 64-Bit Legends on Insta and X. Bobby Kaboose, again, on Insta, on X. My boy Lawson _1226. Again, we already know that's all his PIN. That's his social security number, last 4 digits, and it's his birthday. So we have a little over 6 months to find out a gift for Lawson. He's never received a birthday gift in his entire 14 years of existence. He hasn't received one because all of his birthday gifts get lumped in with Christmas, and so you don't want to be a Grinch. Get him a birthday gift. He's got a huge Amazon wish list. I think a John Cena lunchbox is on there. He wants some new swimming goggles, a snorkel, and I believe an inflatable beach ball. That's just 4 of the items, and they're relatively cheap. You're not going to be spending a ton of money, but he's also got a GoFundMe and his PayPal and Venmo. Just fucking send him money. We like money in the Legends Clubhouse. So, and Lawson loves to beg for it. So, he sent him an early gift. If I were you people watching right now, I would send him $1 every day until his birthday. So, just start now. It's summer. Just prepare for his birthday. Anyway, he's on Insta, he's on X. If you need any bets covered, he's your man. Other than that, man, the last thing I want to say until you take us out is Happy Father's Day to all the real fathers, the stepfathers, the step-in fathers, the half fathers. It takes an idiot to make a child. It takes a real man to be a father. So happy Father's Day to all those dads out there.
I'm gonna sue you for defamation. The as always, thank you so much for watching this episode of the Legends
Hey,
Clubhouse.
respect.
Someone's got to. Thank you for watching this episode of the Legends Clubhouse for New Leaf News and the Legends Clubhouse. I'm Lawson Turner, and that's Bobby Kaboose. We will see you beautiful people Monday. We hope you enjoy your weekend, and see you Monday morning at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, what did I say, 7?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I don't need you
You
waking
don't wake up until like 7:24,
I was about to
so...
say, I don't need you waking up any earlier now.
Yeah, man. My eyes aren't open most of the time anyway.
As always, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you beautiful people Monday.